In Tokyo, it has been raining heavily for several days. During this time, a girl named Hina gazes out of a hospital window and notices a single ray of light piercing through the cloud-covered sky, illuminating a particular spot. Drawn by curiosity, she follows the light and finds it shining down on a small shrine. As she steps forward, she closes her eyes and prays. Suddenly, the rain stops, and she begins to float in the air. Around her, water droplets take the shape of fish, swimming in midair. Overwhelmed and startled, she struggles to comprehend what is happening. Meanwhile, in another scene, a boy named Hodaka is traveling on a ferry. A violent storm brews over the ocean, and as he is about to be swept overboard, a man named Shuga saves him just in time. As the storm clears, sunlight finally breaks through the sky. Grateful for Shuga's help, Hodaka treats him to a meal and some beer. The next morning, as they arrive in Tokyo, Shuga hands Hodaka his business card before parting ways. Hodaka has come to Tokyo in search of work. However, due to his young age, he struggles to find a job. Wandering the streets, he soon runs out of money and has nowhere to stay. While rummaging through a trash bin, he unexpectedly finds a gun. Startled, he hesitates, but ultimately decides to keep it for self-defense. One night, Hodaka falls asleep inside a restaurant. A kind staff member notices him and, feeling pity, places a burger in front of him. For Hodaka, this small act of kindness makes it one of the best moments of his life. Desperate for work, he decides to call Shuga, the man who saved him. Shuga invites him over, where Hodaka meets a young girl named Natsumi. At first, he assumes she might be Shuga's wife. Hodaka soon finds both work and a place to stay. He starts helping Shuga with writing articles for a magazine that focuses on urban legends and unusual occurrences. Slowly, his life begins to stabilize. One day, Hodaka learns about a mysterious girl who is rumored to have the ability to control the weather. Intrigued, he starts investigating. While on his way to work, he spots Hina, the same girl who had kindly given him a burger at the restaurant. Hodaka notices two men forcing Hina to do something against her will. Without hesitation, he rushes to help her, grabbing her hand and trying to escape. However, the men catch up to him and start beating him up. In desperation, Hodaka pulls out the gun he had found earlier and points it at them. Startled, he accidentally fires a warning shot, causing panic. In the chaos, he fires another shot, but fortunately it doesn't hit anyone. The men, frightened by the gunfire, back off. Taking the opportunity, Hina quickly pulls Hodaka away and they escape together. She takes him to the ruins beneath the sacred shrine, where she had discovered her powers. Angry and frustrated, Hina scolds Hodaka for being so reckless with the gun. Upset, Hodaka realizes his mistake and throws the gun away in frustration. After calming down, he confides in Hina, telling her that he ran away from home in search of a better life in Tokyo. Hina, understanding his struggles, comforts him. She then leads him to the shrine and reveals that she is a sunshine girl, a person with the power to control the weather. To prove it, she prays, and instantly the dark clouds part, revealing a bright, sunny sky. Hodaka is left speechless, amazed by her ability. Later, Hina takes Hodaka to her apartment where he meets her younger brother, Nagi. She explains that ever since their mother passed away, she has been working hard to support both herself and Nagi. Seeing her struggle, Hodaka comes up with an idea. He suggests that they turn her weather-controlling abilities into a business. Hina agrees, and together, they create a website where people can hire her to clear the sky for special occasions in exchange for payment. Their business quickly gains popularity, with customers flooding in with requests. They successfully clear the sky for birthdays, weddings, and even major corporate events. Soon, even large companies start hiring them for their grand events. One day, Hina is featured on a television news segment, showcasing her ability to clear the sky for an important event. This boosts their popularity even more, leading to an overwhelming number of requests. Realizing they need a break, they decide to take on one final request before resting. Their last client is an elderly woman who asks them to clear the sky for a special occasion. After fulfilling her request, she tells them stories about a world that exists beyond the sky. Later, Hina thanks Hodaka for helping her realize her purpose in life. Hina's 18th birthday is approaching, and Hodaka wonders what gift he should give her. After much thought, he decides to buy a ring for her. However, he lacks the courage to give it to her. One day, Hodaka, Hina, and Suga go out together. During their outing, they learn that Suga has a daughter. Shortly after, Natsumi joins them, and Hodaka realizes that Natsumi is actually Suga's niece. Both Suga and Natsumi are delighted to meet the Sunshine Girl in person. Later, as Hodaka and Hina head home, he gathers the courage to finally give her the ring. Just as he is about to do so, a sudden gust of wind lifts Hina off the ground. Startled, Hodaka watches in shock as she momentarily floats in the air before returning to the ground. However, when she lands, he notices something strange. Parts of her body are turning transparent. Hina explains that the more she uses her weather-controlling powers, the more her body starts to disappear. This revelation leaves Hodaka deeply concerned. When they arrive home, the police show up at their apartment. They show Hina a picture of Hodaka and begin questioning her about him. It turns out that ever since he ran away from home, the police have been searching for him. Hina, trying to protect Hodaka, denies knowing him. However, the police remain suspicious and warn them that they will return. They also inform them that both Hina and Nagi will be taken to a children's counseling center. Meanwhile, the police visit Suga as well. Already struggling with a custody battle for his daughter, Suga decides not to get further involved. Instead, he gives Hodaka some money and tells him to return home. At the same time, Hina and Nagi decide to leave their apartment, fearing that the authorities will separate them. Hodaka refuses to go back home and insists on going with them. The three of them pack up their belongings and leave their apartment in search of a new place to stay. However, due to their lack of identification and young age, they struggle to find a place to stay. As they wander the streets, a powerful storm begins to rage, making it even harder for them to move forward. Amidst the chaos, the police track them down. Hodaka tries to run, but a police officer catches him. Seeing this, Hina panics and prays for lightning to strike. In an instant, a powerful bolt of lightning crashes down from the sky, hitting a nearby car and causing a massive explosion. The sudden blast creates a distraction, drawing the officer's attention toward it. The three of them manage to escape and finally find a room in a luxurious hotel. Exhausted from the day's events, they take a moment to relax. They enjoy a feast, soak in warm baths, and even sing karaoke together, temporarily forgetting their worries. Later that night, after Nagi falls asleep, Hodaka gathers the courage to give Hina the ring he bought for her. Hina is overjoyed to receive it, but then shares a heartbreaking truth with him. Her powers are slowly turning her body into water, and eventually, she will be taken away to the world of the clouds. She explains that she has been chosen as the Weather Maiden, and only through her sacrifice will the endless rain and storms finally stop. However, if she refuses to disappear, the rain will continue forever. Hodaka is devastated and pleads with her, telling her she doesn't have to become the Sunshine Girl. He promises that he will work hard, earn money, and take care of both her and Nagi. Hina, deeply moved, embraces him and starts crying. They fall asleep, holding on to the hope that they can change fate. The next morning, Hodaka wakes up only to find that Hina is gone. A panicked Nagi tells him that he had a dream where he saw his sister ascending into the sky, disappearing into the clouds. When they look outside, they see that the rain has finally stopped and the sky is clear. Suddenly, the police arrive at their apartment and take both Nagi and Hodaka into custody. While being escorted away, Hodaka finds Hina's ring lying on the ground. Realizing that she has indeed been taken to the world of the clouds, he becomes desperate. He begs the officers to let him go so he can save her, but no one believes him. At that moment, Natsumi appears and helps Hodaka escape. She puts him on her scooter and speeds away, with police cars chasing after them. Eventually, Hodaka reaches the abandoned building where the sacred shrine is located. Inside the building, he runs into Shuga, who stops him and tells him that he shouldn't be running from the police. Shuga insists that the authorities won't harm him and will only take him back to his family. But Hodaka refuses to listen. Saving Hina is the only thing that matters to him now. Just then, he spots the gun he had previously discarded. In a moment of desperation, he picks it up and points it at Shuga, shouting, "I have to save Hina!" As the police arrive, they grab Hodaka and restrain him. Seeing this, Shuga finally understands Hodaka's desperation. In a sudden burst of emotion, he pushes the officers away and tells Hodaka to run. Just then, Nagi also arrives and helps Hodaka escape. Hodaka rushes toward the sacred shrine. As soon as he crosses its gate, he is lifted into the sky. Floating among the clouds, he finds himself surrounded by shimmering droplets that take the shapes of sea creatures. Upon reaching the world of the clouds, he spots Hina lying unconscious, surrounded by glowing fish-like water droplets. He shouts her name desperately, and she wakes up. Seeing him, she runs towards him, but before they can reach each other, they both begin to fall from the edge of the clouds. Hodaka manages to grab her hand tightly and shouts, "I don't care if it keeps raining forever. I just want you to come back." A few moments later, we see both of them unconscious at the entrance of the shrine. The police find them and separate them. Hodaka is sent back to his family under strict supervision, while Hina and Nagi are taken into custody. 3 years later, Tokyo is now half submerged due to the continuous rain. Boats have replaced cars as the primary mode of transport. Hodaka returns to the city searching for Hina. He meets Shuga, who tells him he has no information about her. He then visits the elderly woman who had once hired them. She explains that Tokyo was once a city floating on water, and nature has merely reclaimed what was always hers. As Hodaka walks through the familiar streets, reminiscing about Hina, he suddenly spots her standing at the same spot where they used to pray. Dressed in her school uniform, she stands with folded hands, eyes closed, praying. Overcome with emotion, Hodaka calls out her name. She turns, sees him, and her face lights up with happiness. They run toward each other, embracing tightly, as if to never let go again. Looking into each other's eyes, they smile through their tears. And with that, the beautiful, heartwarming story comes to an end.